Death at Gallows Green. Chapter 19. Mr. B, riddle me ree, flower of England, fruit of Spain, met together in a shower of rain, put in a bag tied round with a string. If you tell me this riddle, I'll give you a ring. Beatrix Potter, The Tale of Squirrel Nutkin. That afternoon, Kate and Bee explored the ruins of Bishop's Keep and walked into the nearby woods looking for interesting fungi for Bee to draw. While Bee sat down to sketch a large mass of rust-colored toadstools against a mossy rock, Kate picked meadow buttercups and yellow heartsease, feeling herself almost contented. But several nagging thoughts continued to intrude her mind. One had to do with Sir Charles, whose patronizing objection to her investigative efforts still rankled. Another had to do with Agnes, whose future security depended upon her husband's posthumous reputation. Surely there was something she could do to ensure that Agnes kept her pension, even though Sir Charles had so pointedly told her to stay out of the affair. And the third had to do with the emeralds. So when they returned to Bishop's Keep that afternoon, while Bee was giving Peter Rabbit an airing in the shrubbery, Kate summoned her butler to the library. Mutt, she had found, could be counted upon to supply almost any information she might need about the local environs. While he was young for his position and clearly a climber, she knew him to be a reliable person in difficult circumstances and respected his intelligence and good judgment. She had come to this assessment when he had assisted her in apprehending her aunt's killer a few months before. "Mutt," she said, "I am greatly concerned about the welfare of Mrs. Oliver. I assume that you know of her situation and what is being said about her husband's off-duty pursuits." Mutt inclined his head to show that he did. "A very sad business." Kate eyed him. "What credit do you give the rumours about the sergeant's involvement in poaching?" "None, Mum," Mutt said firmly. "It's only riff-raff talking." Mutt was from London and rather inclined to scorn the villagers, feeling himself their superior in station, manners, and in intelligence. Kate went to the mantel and stood staring down at the fire. "I have spoken with Lord Marston's assistant gamekeeper, Mr. McGregor. What do you know of the man?" Mutt pulled a long face. "He's a shrewd one, that Matthew McGregor. He has his hands into many a pot, I hear. People say they wouldn't put a spot of murder past him." "But I understand," Kate said, "that the sergeant's body was discovered in Mr. McGregor's garden. One would scarcely think that a murderer would abandon a body on his own doorstep, would one?" "It was said at the inquest," Mutt remarked judiciously, "that the sergeant was shot elsewhere and left in the garden. But that was the constable's interpretation. If anybody saw what happened, they haven't put themselves forward yet." "Suppose that theory isn't correct," Kate said, thinking out loud. "Suppose the sergeant was shot in the garden and left there with the intention of bringing a cart through the lane to take him somewhere else, probably at night when no one was about. Only the business was somehow interrupted and Lawrence and Amelia discovered the body before it could be disposed of." "Could have been," Mutt agreed. "There's Mrs. McGregor's brother, too. It's an unsavory sort." "Mrs. McGregor's brother?" Sir Charles had mentioned a brother in his telling of the story, but Kate did not recall the details. "Tommy Brock," Mutt said, "called Mr. B by some. It was his gun that was first thought to be the murder weapon, but it wasn't. He was gone for a time from the area, but he's back again. So Pocket's father says," he added. "He's the brewer's drayman, you see, and goes from pub to pub." Kate had ceased to wonder at the marvelous efficiency of the information network that linked the villages and hamlets in the district so that news travelled as fast as by telephone in the city. Now she thought briefly of the copper-haired Mr. Todd, who had come to McGregor's inquiring after someone. Perhaps he had been looking for McGregor's brother-in-law. "I would be obliged if you could inquire at the pub," she said, "into the matter of Mr. Brock's reappearance. I should like to know if the man seems to have any connection to the crime." Mutt was perfect for such an errand, because he had an interesting capacity of being able to mimic the speech and manners of those with whom he spoke. In any event, Kate herself could hardly visit the Live and Let Live without creating a local sensation. Even her completely innocent bicycle rides with Edward Lakin had caused a great many raised eyebrows, and while Bill Bardwell's female characters sometimes disguised themselves as males to gain information, Kate did not intend to do anything quite so odd when Mutt was available, willing, and excellently dependable. Mutt gave her a canned glance. "I should have to go To the pub specially, he remarked. I don't have another half day until next month. Then go this evening, Kate commanded, and tell me what you learn. She went to the desk drawer and took out a purse and found 2 florins. And use these to purchase a round, she added, giving Mutt the coins. Perhaps a pint or 2 will loosen a few tongues. Mutt straightened his shoulders. Very good, Mum, he said. And one more thing, Kate said. What do you know about Lawrence, the master footman? Mutt's mouth reflected his displeasure. A light sort, Mum. He has played fast and free with Amelia's affection. Mutt might look down on the villagers, but he was unfailingly kind to the household staff. Aside from your opinion, Kate said, stressing the word, what do you know of him? Mutt became rather more cautious. Only what I see him at the pub. He's likable enough, been in the service hereabout for 7 or 8 years. I would not want you to mention this question to anyone else, Kate said, but I wonder whether... She paused and chose her words very carefully. Has there been any rumor of Lawrence coming into a sum of money? If he has, he's keeping it close, Mutt said sagaciously. He's been drinking on the tick, on credit, Mum, he added. He did not appear to be in funds. Thank you, Kate said. And is there, do you think, any possible connection between Lawrence and Mr. Brock? Mutt's brows came together. I saw them drinking together once, a year ago or so. Kate nodded. Thank you, Mutt, she said. That'll be all. Mutt retired, leaving Kate standing alone beside the fire, speculating about this mysterious Mr. Brock. How did he figure in this increasingly complicated situation? Was it possible that he was somehow connected to Lawrence? Were the 2 of them related in any way to the emeralds? And were the emeralds connected to the sergeant's murder? Kate walked to her desk, wondering how Beryl Bardwell might resolve this puzzle. If this were a novel, however, the plot would likely need more thickening before it was done. Wanting to feed her readers' taste for sensation, Beryl might add another murder, or perhaps a kidnapping, and a few exotic characters, a pirate or 2 perhaps. But in the end, no matter how many complications she introduced, the solution would be as neatly wrapped and pleasing as pudding. It was a pity that the mysteries of real life were not resolved quite so easily as Beryl Bardwell's penny dreadfuls.